Hello, hello, and a wonderful day to you again. This is going to be about tinctures. Now, tinctures are concentrated liquid extracts that are made by soaking herbs and plants and other materials in a solvent, usually alcohol, to extract their active components. So everything we've talked about so far, we're talking about soaking, right? Steeping, soaking stuff. So this is no different. Now, typically, a tincture is an extract of a plant or an animal material. It's dissolved in ethanol, alcohol. Uh, Solvent concentrations for that range from like 25 to 60%. Those are pretty common, but they can go as high as 90%. Now, alcohol acts as, excuse me, as both a solvent and a preservative, making tinctures something that lasts a long time, and they can be very, very potent. Mm. Now, like most of what we talked about so far, the use of tinctures dates back to ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, Greeks, even the Chinese, that used these alcoholic extracts to preserve and enhance the efficacy, the strength, and the power of botanicals, right? The herbs and spices and such, what was being used. Now, during the Middle Ages, alchemists experienced with different solvents. They they also experimented rather with extraction methods. And all of this kind of added to and led us to where we are today with the tinctures and the development of the tinctures, and they are what we know today. Now, when the Renaissance came by, we saw a resurgence in herbal medicine. Herbalists were incorporating tinctures in their practices. Then in the 19th century, tinctures again became rather prominent in Western medicine. The United States Pharmacopoeia, the USP, excuse me, they included guidelines for how to prepare them. And now, in more modern times, with the rise of synthetic drugs, the popularity of tinctures declined a bit. But we've seen a resurgence in recent years because people are turning more and more to natural remedies, right? Now, how do you make a tincture? Well, you choose your herb, right? Select some fresh or dried herbs known for their properties, the properties you want. You prepare the solvent. Now, usually you're going to use a high proof alcohol like vodka or brandy as the solvent. You can use glycerin instead of alcohol, especially if you're making tinctures for children. Glycerin is a sweet, syrupy liquid. It comes from vegetable oil. It does not extract the bitter compounds that are found in some herbs, which can make tinctures a little more palatable, a little more enjoyable. It's also a good alternative for people that are sensitive to alcohol and can't or don't want to consume it. And there are those that recommend using relatively pure forms of alcohol, like grain alcohol, organic ethanol, or even vodka, because they have a very good solvency quality. However, you can also use brandy or whiskey or tequila through various means, but the tincture might not be as potent if you use those. Now, to do all this, you've got to combine the ingredients, and you got to steep them for a right bit. You got to place the herbs in a jar, cover them with the alcohol, you seal the jar, you let it sit in a cool, dark place for about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, that's a big deviation from what we're used to. Everything else we talked about a matter of hours. Now we're talking 4 to 6 weeks to let this thing, and you want to shake it occasionally, right? And shake it all up good. And then you're going to strain it after 4 to 6 weeks. You want to strain it and store it, because after steeping it, right, you're going to want to strain that liquid to remove the plant material and to store the tincture. Make sure it's in a dark glass bottle if you can. Um, Dosages for tinctures typically are taken just a few drops, usually under the tongue or diluting them in water. And the benefits are that they are highly concentrated, first of all, makes them potent and very effective in small doses. They're also very long lasting. When stored properly, tinctures can last for years without losing their potency. Now, placing tinctures for dosage and for healing purposes are what we call sublingually taken. It's under the tongue. It's orally. It's a sublingual medication, meaning they're taken orally under the tongue, and it allows the active compounds to bypass the digestive system because it enters the bloodstream really quickly through osmosis, which we talked about in the previous video. This makes them very fast acting, very convenient, and a very easy way to be used as far as getting the medical benefits from them. And they don't require any special equipment or preparation, although they do typically come with an eyedropper, which allows, for a very precise dosage, 1 drop at a time. I've listed some common ones here to give you a little bit of insights over them. Valerian root tincture, that's often used for its calming properties, helps with sleep and anxiety. You place a drop or two under the tongue, and it goes right into the bloodstream for quicker relief. There's a echinacea tincture. It's commonly used to boost the immune system and to help fight colds and infections. Again, under the tongue, helps to quickly offset symptoms. St. John's wort tincture, everybody's probably heard of that one. That's known for its antidepressant properties, used to alleviate mild to moderate depression. Again, quick absorption under the tongue, improves your mood a lot quicker. There's a new one out there, CBD tinctures. We've probably heard of those, along with a lot of other uses with CBD. It's used a lot widely for pain relief, anxiety, overall wellness. The benefit for putting it under the tongue ensures faster, more efficient absorption, right? It's often used in clinical studies as well, I want to point out, as placebos to test the efficacy or the potency of herbal remedies. And I bring this up, and I mean tinctures in general are used in placebo studies. And I bring this up because you can make your own placebo or your own tincture, and you can use it to elicit a placebo effect just to match the intention that you've got behind taking the tincture. At some point, I'll probably get into that, but that's a real thing, right? There are gargling tinctures, commonly used for gargling, in other words, for helping sore throats and reducing inflammation, fighting infections. A few of those are the echinacea tincture I talked about. There's a myrrh tincture. It's used for treating sore throats and mouth infections. Sage is a antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. It makes it a popular choice for oral health and gargling with a tincture made from it. There's also goldenrod tincture, which has respiratory benefits, and it's used to treat upper respiratory infections. A clove tincture, I'm sure you're familiar with cloves. Cloves have antiseptic and analgesic properties that make it very effective in oral health. And by gargling with these things, they reduce inflammation, fight off infections, relieve toothaches, the cloves will. Now, how do you use them for gargling? Well, you mix a full dose of whatever the tincture is. It might be 1 to 2 ounces, or 25 to 30 grams, depending on where you're at, of hot water. And then you mix the mixture up in the hot water. Put the mixture in your mouth, you lean back your head, and you gargle with it. You do that for about 10 seconds. Do it several times a day or as needed. So there are also, in addition to gargling, there's topical tinctures. Some of these tinctures that I'm talking about are used if they're put on the skin topically. They should not be ingested because of safety concerns, and they're used externally to treat various skin conditions, relieve pain, promote healing, so should not be ingested, right? And here are some common examples. There's arnica, that's used to on bruises and sprains, sore muscles. There's a calendula tincture, it's on cuts, scrapes, and minor burns. A comfrey tincture, it's on that you apply to wounds, fractures, and even joint pain. There's a witch hazel tincture. It's commonly used for hemorrhoids, varicose veins, skin irritations. There's a golden seal tincture that's applied to skin infections, wounds, eczema, seborrhea, skin ailments. That one is an antimicrobial as well and reduces inflammation too. A lot of these do. Cayenne pepper. You may be very familiar with cayenne. There's a tincture, and that's used, believe it or not, on your skin for muscle pain, arthritis, neuralgia even. It'll give you a warming sensation and improve blood flow, and it'll relieve pain for you. There's also some safety tips when you're using these, whereas you're going to want to probably do a patch test. Just make sure you don't have any allergy reactions to it. Avoid open wounds and severe burns, and always follow any recommended dosage instructions that come with them if you're buying these over the counter, or if you have any underlying health conditions or taking other medications. Make sure that you consult with somebody that knows something about that, because that ain't me. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this. After this video, we're going to get into lots and lots of specific herbs with great information, and I'm thinking you're going to love it. So thank you very much. I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. Bye.